So current Superstox European champion and former world champion Shaun Brooker, who we've hauled out of the pits after a rather wet race here at Wimbledon. Shaun, despite the wet, despite everything else, you're still smiling because you love your Superstox racing.
Oh yeah, still love them after 24, 25 years. I don't know if I'm bonkers or what, but I love it. Once it's in your blood, you can't get rid of it.
I think that's true, isn't it? That once that oval racing bug is in your blood, you're here for good.
Exactly, yeah. You say you're here for good. I mean, I'm lucky in one respect that I'm sponsored by Bees Motors. If I was trying to do it on my own back, I'd struggle big time to be able to do it now. But luckily with the backing I've got, it's all tickety-boo. So.
But of course, it wasn't always Superstox. I can remember, Shaun, you having a little dabble in national hot rods for a while. Was that never going to be to your liking?
Well, at the same time, I was doing Superstox. I had an old Jeff Simpson car, to which I had initially. Seemed to go all right, and then I thought, yeah, if I spend a bit of money on a decent car, maybe okay. Spent a lot of money, got absolutely nowhere. And I always remember one night here at Wimbledon, starting on the front in the national hot rod, getting absolutely nowhere, lapped within 4 or 5 laps, jumping out of the national hot rod into my Super, starting from the back, and come through and winning. So I always think, if I can see my wheels, I'm more confident. If I can't see my wheels, I'm a bit snookered.
That's a really interesting perspective, because that's quite a juxtaposition, isn't it? To be as magnanimous as you say and be so hopeless in national hot rod racing, but yet to go out there in an open wheel formula and wipe the floor.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know what it is, whether it was lack of confidence in the hot rod or what, but I stay with Supers at that time I've got left.
Well, you're there, you're enjoying it, and you're very, very good. I must also mention your, dare I say, aerobatics at Ipswich, where perhaps for me as a race fan and for everyone else as race fans, you do clatter about a bit, you lot out there, don't you?
Yeah, you say the aerobatics. I think we must be talking about the World Final here, which was the end of October, to which I just got in the lead, and I don't know what happened, but there was a pile up everywhere, and I got shunted straight up the fence and ended up on 2 wheels. But yeah, no, it's all good fun. But like I say, am I getting too old to be knocked about nowadays?
No, of course not. And the thing is that you're not one of those that we would regard as you don't go out there and hit your way through. Do you know what I mean? You've got a bit of racecraft about you, and you've used that to good effect over many, many years. But there are still bumpers out there to be used, and you do it when it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, that's the case. To be honest with you, I've never been a bumper merchant. I always sit back, bite my time, see an opportunity and go for it. A lot of people say, oh, Brooker does this, Brooker does that, but that's just the way I've always been. 9 times out of 10 it pays off. Right or wrong, I don't know, but that's the way I've always been.
And just going back to that combination of formulas, if you like, Superstox and national hot rods, of course one of your competitors in Superstox, Jason Cooper, has recently been out in national hot rods, and it took a little while, but then he was right on it. And I always find it amazing that perhaps in the same meeting, as you alluded to just a little while ago, you can jump out of one car going one way round our track and jump into another and go the other way. Forgive me, but Jason did seem to take to it a bit like duck to water.
He did do. Whether it's the backing he's got, he put a lot of money into it. When I did it, I was completely on my own. I had no help. And it all helps at the end of the day, as much help as you can get from anybody. And also, money always helps. So maybe that's an answer, but I haven't got that funds to have a go at both.
Now, something that you're jolly thankful for, and you've mentioned already, is Kevin B and Bees Motors, and of course Neil B, a name that was up in the highest echelons of Superstox racing. Is it fair to say that probably Kevin B and Bees Motors gets as much out of being involved in racing through his support to someone like you as maybe he did when Neil was at his greatest?
Yeah, to be honest with you, that is the case. I mean, Kevin, he lives, eats, breathes racing. I think if you took his stock car away, it's like taking a child's toy away from him. And he works on the car non-stop. To be honest with you, I don't touch the car from one meeting to the next. All I do is turn up a meeting, drive it, alter it my little way where I want it put, and that's it. Kevin has it back again, plays with it in between time, and off we go again. So at the end of the day, it's like a dream come true. You couldn't wish for better circumstances, really.
And as we close this chat, and we thank you for your time, The formula itself in rude health, isn't it? There's lots of cars out there, lots of action, and again, for us race fans, it's brilliant to watch you guys, whether it's wet or dry. You're out there mixing it. What do you put down to the longevity of the formula, because it is in such good health?
I don't know. I think to keep costs down, like the way Woody's trying to keep costs down by doing certain rule changes, it's all for the good of the formula. I think well, if you're looking to come into the sport, you can get yourself a second-hand car for 2 or 3 grand, which will go easy as season's racing. If you get the feel for it, you can have a new car. You can carry on with the car you got. You go back to the likes of Sparky, that was always self-funded and built his own cars. In his heyday, you could not beat the man. So you haven't got to spend fortunes, and it's a formula for anyone who wants to come into it. And
it's true to say, and you mentioned Gary Sparks there, who, I always used to joke and laugh with Gary that, they'd find old bits in the yard and the field and they'd make a Superstock and make a race-winning Superstock out of those bits. There are still home-built cars out there that are very competitive.
Exactly, yeah. As I say, you haven't got a factory-built car. I mean, mine's factory-built. You're probably talking, I don't know, probably half the cars in the top 10 are factory-built, the other half are home-built. At the end of the day, if you can get it around as quick as the factory one, why spend all that money?
Okay, so going to all-out push for the gold roof again this year, Shaun?
Take it as it comes. I mean, this year, I thought once I got in the lead, that was it, but you never know what's around the corner in Superstox, because 1 minute you're there, next minute you ain't. So, depends on how it goes and where you qualify. Matter of the moment, really.
Well, best of luck for the season ahead, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us. So, current European champion, and of course he will be heading for the gold roof, whatever he may say, and that's car number 69, Shaun Brooker.